If you have not had your fill of storms just yet here across Alabama and most of the southeast, I've got good news for you. There are more thunderstorms on the way, and some of them are going to be on the heavy side, potentially severe again come Friday. The Storm Prediction Center outlining a pretty broad area here from Arkansas into Mississippi, Alabama, northwest Florida, southwestern Georgia, where there will be some pretty heavy thunderstorms. Some could be severe, especially in the yellow zone right here, because we have, yet again, multiple waves of thunderstorms moving this direction, and some of those are going to pack quite a punch. Severe thunderstorms certainly a possibility in a pattern like this one. Then we move forward into Saturday, and watch this. We just get complex after complex developing around the southeast. I do think that we have fewer storms here in central North Alabama, North Georgia, Tennessee, and then we just have a few scattered ones here and there across southwestern Alabama and Mississippi. And that's a difference between the isolated threat of severe thunderstorms versus the scattered, or the marginal versus the slight. So frequent lightning, a few 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts, a few storms are possible all over Alabama Saturday, but the greater risk of a severe thunderstorm would be down toward the south. And here we go again. Come Sunday, another risk of severe weather as thunderstorms develop to the northwest of Alabama and move to the southeast throughout the day. So these are going to happen really in, I believe, Oklahoma and Arkansas and Kansas, maybe even Missouri, late Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then they start tracking southeastward like this. Now, there are two possible tracks here on Saturday, and it'll have everything to do with how the weather shapes up in Birmingham and in Huntsville and in Montgomery. Unfortunately, I think the Alabama Gulf Coast is going to get hit no matter what, but there will be some differences from place to place across the state of Alabama in particular. One track has thunderstorms blowing up back here close to the mountains in Arkansas, and then they take a path something more like this down toward Mississippi and the Alabama Gulf Coast. So that would give us, let's say, a margin of error. We'll draw a box like that. So you get this big batch of heavy thunderstorms that impacts a segment of West Alabama, and then a few scattereds around the rest of the state. Now, that's plausible. Is it exactly what's going to happen? I don't know yet, because there's also another possibility here where we just kind of round the bend of that warm, humid air, and those thunderstorms come right through the heart of central Alabama and end up going southeast down toward the Wiregrass. So you can see essentially two different paths. Mobile, the Alabama and Florida Gulf Coast, probably going to get hit with this no matter what in this particular setup. So 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sunday, we'll be watching for some more of those heavy thunderstorms. Well, how about some of these heavy hitters we've had this afternoon? Massive storm over southwest Coleman County earlier. It even had a hook echo on it. The thing was rotating like a top. Thankfully, it was not in an environment where we could see tornadic production. But there's still some thunderstorms out there, even here at 9:30 in the evening. And you can see some of that lightning probably even from the Birmingham area looking northeast over toward Rome, Georgia. Pretty hefty thunderstorm there. I think we're done with the thunderstorms tonight over the north and central part of the state, but there still may be a few isolated downpours down to the south. These are storm reports going back 60 hours. Yesterday alone, we had over 500 reports of severe weather. Today, we're adding to that with more significant thunderstorms out here to the west over Texas and Oklahoma. Major tornado damage in North Texas this afternoon, and now we have severe thunderstorms rolling through Oklahoma City. There's been huge hail out there, powerful wind gusts over 70 or 80 miles per hour. And what happens with this overnight into tomorrow morning, we see this following that path, Mississippi toward coastal Alabama. So if you know somebody who's on the Gulf Coast, and by the way, there's been a tornado reported near Pensacola and Gulf Breeze in the past hour between 8:30 and 9 p.m. This complex, in about 12 hours, early Friday morning, ends up near the Gulf Coast. Now, that one's going to miss us in central Alabama, but the good news is, if you still need some rain, we're probably not completely out of the woods for thunderstorms. Now, who needs rain in this case? Look at central Alabama right here. Marion, Fayette, Lamar, Walker, Jefferson, Talladega County, Clay County. We missed it to the north and to the south. We have places that have nearly 5 inches of rain in Chilton County, over 3 inches of rain in southern Shelby County, over 2 inches in Pelham, over an inch in Addison, here in Winston County. But Birmingham, we only have 1/1600ths of an inch of rain. Well, we're going to get more. And here's how it's going to happen. Thunderstorms building eastward overnight. We'll pause this at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we erode away a lot of the instability down here close to the Gulf Coast because of those storms rolling in. But look what's going on here across central Alabama and Mississippi. Now, in the meantime, there's more hot, humid air that's coming in over the surface in this direction right here, coming in from the west. Pretty strong jet stream aloft for this time of year, so that will probably set up more scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon. So what about the concert in Pelham tomorrow night? What about everything that goes on a Friday night in June? Hold your breath, because here we go. That's the latest HRRR, the HRRR model, suggesting one healthy cluster of thunderstorms blasting through metro Birmingham, Jasper, Tuscaloosa, down toward the Montgomery area between about 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., and some of those storms could be pretty strong. What we look at with a product like this is updraft strength and rotation. So I've attached it on there. Rotating thunderstorms don't always produce tornadoes, but they usually do produce hail and strong gusty winds. So that's what we'll be dealing with come Friday evening. So here we go again. The MCS machine is still active. That southwest flow right there, 5,000 feet above the ground, pumping in lots of warm, humid air, and it's just fueling the storms one right after the other. So that's Friday. Here's what happens Saturday, though. 1 o'clock in the morning Saturday, we still have some showers and thunderstorms from Birmingham southward, and I really think Saturday is more of a South Alabama kind of day, but there may be some isolated pockets of storms here and there across North Alabama and then over into Georgia, too. Sunday, and here it's the track of these storms is incredibly important as to how the weather pans out at your house on Sunday. We've still got the moisture and the heat pumping up. So do these storms follow this path, or do they follow that path? I tend to think that given the most model agreement, they may end up following the first path, which is a little closer over here toward Mississippi into West Alabama. Time will tell. There you go. That's the graph model from the WSI, and it's got that line of storms 10 o'clock in the morning off the Gulf Coast. If you look at the GFS, it's going to have that same line of thunderstorms right there. So models are not in agreement on how that's going to work out. But we are in all agreement here that there are going to be some thunderstorms around. So Sunday, remember, we've got potential for frequent lightning, hail, and extremely powerful winds within some of those storms. They're going to start back here and then just work their way across. And remember, two paths. You either got that path or you've got this path. The one that is what I'll call the second path would get it closer to Birmingham and Tuscaloosa, maybe even Huntsville. The first path, this one over here, gets it closer to the Alabama Gulf Coast a whole lot faster. And there's no real break here. More showers, more thunderstorms are likely going into next week too.